Good morning, dear children. Today we start with the second chapter of Science 2, Energy Flow in an Ecosystem. In this chapter, we will be studying about food chain and food web, the energy pyramid, and biogeochemical cycle, where we shall learn about the carbon cycle, the oxygen cycle, and nitrogen cycle. Today, as we begin our first session of this chapter, we will be studying about food chain and food web and the energy pyramid. So before we begin, let me ask you a question. What is meant by ecosystem? An ecosystem is all the plants and animals that live in a particular area together with the complex relationship that exists between them and their environment. Now there are different types of ecosystems: grassland ecosystem, freshwater ecosystem, forest ecosystem, desert ecosystem, and marine ecosystem. We have already learned the classification of living organisms according to the mode of nutrition into producers, consumers, saprotrophs, and decomposers. So now let us consider the various trophic levels of the ecosystem around you as given below. So first we have are the primary consumers. They are the herbivorous. Examples: elephant, grasshopper, squirrel, etc. The primary consumers directly depend on autotrophs, that is the producers. Then we have secondary consumers, that is carnivorous. Example: frog, owl, fox, etc. These consumers use herbivorous as their food. Next we have apex or top consumers, again as carnivorous. Example: tiger, lion, etc. These consumers use herbivorous and carnivorous as their food. No other animals feed on top consumers. And then we have omnivores, mixed consumers. Example: humans, bear, etc. feed on herbivorous and carnivorous. Interactions go on continuously between producers, consumers, and saprophytes. There is a definite sequence in these interactions which is called the food chain. Each chain consists of 4, 5 or more links. An ecosystem consists of many food chains that are interconnected at various levels. Thus, a food web is formed. An organism may be the prey for many other organisms. For example, an insect feeds upon leaves of various plants, but the same insect is a prey for different animals like frog, wall lizard, birds, etc. If this is to be shown in a figure, it will form an intricate web instead of a linear food chain. Such an intricate network is called a food web. Generally, food webs are found everywhere in nature. Now, this transmission of biological energy in food webs happen in multiple stages. If any single stage is disrupted by some reason, the upper and lower stages will also be harmed, and it can even cause the total destruction of that ecosystem. And so, it is very important to maintain balance or equilibrium that is necessary in a food web. Now let's move to our next topic, the energy pyramid. Now what is a trophic level? Each level in the food chain is called a trophic level. A trophic level is the step at which the organism obtains its food in the chain. The amount of matter and energy gradually decreases from producers at lowest level to top consumers at the highest level. Figure shows the energy transfer that takes place at each trophic level. There are different levels of energy exchange in the food chain. The initial quantity of energy goes on decreasing at every level of energy exchange. If you observe the figure, you will see that the phytoplanktons show 10,000 kilocalories. Zooplanktons show 1000 kilocalories. Fishes show 100 kilocalories and humans 10 kilocalories. That is, the energy goes on decreasing at every level of energy exchange. Similarly, the number of organisms also decreases from the lowest level to the highest level. This pattern of energy exchange in an ecosystem is called a pyramid of energy. After the death of apex consumers, their energy becomes available to the decomposers. Fungi and other microorganisms decompose the bodies of dead animals. They are called decomposers. In the process of obtaining food from the remains of organisms, decomposers convert them into simple carbon compounds. These substances easily mix with air, water and soil, from where they are again absorbed by plants and incorporated into the food chain. Due to the food web formed by the various modes of nutrition, energy and various nutrients circulate continuously in the ecosystem. The sun is the most important source of energy in an ecosystem. Green plants of the ecosystem store some of the solar energy in the form of food. Before reaching the decomposers, their energy is passed on from one trophic level to the next. Decomposers dissipate some amount of energy in the form of heat. However, no part of the energy ever returns to the sun. Hence, such passage of energy is referred to as one-way transport. Lindman studied the food chain and energy flow through it. Charles Elton first proposed the concept of the ecological pyramid after his study in the tundra ecosystem of the Bear Islands in England. This pyramid is also called the Eltonian pyramid. The Indian Institute of Ecology and Environment in Delhi was established in 1980 and is involved mainly in research, training, and arranging workshops and seminars. The institute has published the International Encyclopedia of Ecology and Environment. So here we complete our two topics for today: food chain and food web, and the energy pyramid. Go through the video one more time, and I hope you all have understood, and we shall meet in the next session. Thank you.